Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Torchlight. Let's continue. So, we're on floor 32, and if there is a bit of a pause when I start every episode, yeah, I kinda know. That's a weird story. At some point, and I don't know what really caused this, I just lost confidence in my recording software to actually start recording. So I hit the recording shortcut key several times and wait a few seconds, and I'm like, you know, it works. It really does work every time. It's as consistent a computer program as any other has ever been. It's just some kind of mental block I've developed. That being said, there have been a couple of occasions where a hard drive was filled up or some other thing happened and footage was lost, but not a significant amount of times. This is one of those scenarios where I'm gonna run to this well and then the well's gonna do me dirty. Oh, look at this. I've got my armor up now. That named character could not do anything to me. We've been having major trouble fighting Medusa characters, and they've been summoning poison skeletons and causing all kinds of trouble. And now I'm to the point where they're not hurting me. The only thing that might hurt me is some ice damage if I'm not careful. But yeah, I can kind of get in the fray here. And
my health is low.
Oh, well, that was a problem. But the good news is I'll only lose a little bit of gold, and we weren't too far from the beginning. So as I was gloating there, what I was trying to say was that with the slight exception of being slowed down, I think I can get into the fray and take on a lot of these enemies. Did I go over there and collect those things? I think I did. Yeah, the chests are open over there. And there was clearly so many bodies on the floor that there's weapons now that I'm making a run through this section that I totally missed because they were just covered up by corpses. It's not like these drops are spawning. Yeah. It seems like their game flow intention here was to actually have the player die and run through areas after the corpses despawn. But that doesn't always happen, so that... Just wanted to check this area. That doesn't really work. It only kind of works when you die in an area that has lots and lots of people, which is floor 30 or beyond, I would say. If you had died on floor 1 of the mines, you would still see corpses. You can see there still are corpses. There's just kind of like a hard number that they have encoded in it that after a certain number they say forget it, don't show anymore. Which is the right way to program that, certainly. The only other way would be to just constantly try to use all the RAM available and make the computer itself run slower and slower until it was completely full on RAM. Because due to the incredibly small amount of RAM old computers had, even third generation Intel computers and such, even now there's probably not as much RAM as you could really use or would like to have. there was Windows uses swap files and virtual RAMs. Linux also does use swap files too, although they use swap partitions usually instead of files to speed up the process, which is to put RAM information on the hard drive until the hard drive is full. And I guess you could keep going down that rabbit hole. So for a video game, it makes a lot more sense to not allow Windows to move the fast-moving RAM information into an incredibly slow-moving hard drive file, particularly when it's an unimportant bit of information, like, is there a corpse? Right. So I think you get close to the well. You don't actually have to use the well, which that's a useful bit of information because you probably want to use the well after being bum rushed by all these dark acolytes and medusas, which is what I think they're called. And I'm really just using the well as a way of showing, moving the number of times I've used wells up, in case there's some achievement around that, which I don't really think there is. Or maybe there was an achievement the first time you used a well, and that's it. What we're trying to do is, if I can find a heal all spell, which you very rarely find them on the ground, so I'd probably have to buy a heal all spell. But if I could get a heal all spell that is the same level as I already have on the dog, I'm gonna give it to him a second time. And that's crazy, to say the least, to have just heal all and heal all, but because it has this 30-second cooldown timer on it, when I get in the fray, the thing that is slowing me down in these fights right now is when I run into a bunch of enemies and the enemies start knocking me down to about half health. So right now I'm at about quarter health, half health. So either I take an opportunity to move away, or and wait for the dog to heal all me, which he doesn't do very often, or I use a potion, and ideally we're trying to get away from using potions. I think I also need to increase my damage. Would be nice if I got critical up. It's kind of crazy to continue to put things into dexterity. I kind of don't need anything for magic. I kind of don't need anything for strength. So 5 more points in defense is where we're going with that. This is the same room, just 2 different angles in which you can approach it. These enemies kind of desperately need a fleeing mode, because yeah, you get into rooms like this and then there's one small enemy still in the room, and little reason why that one small enemy should stay where it is and not try and run away and regroup with larger groups of enemies.
My inventory is full.
Right. Time to play menu hero quite quickly, actually, too. We're only a few minutes into this recording. Well, 10 minutes. And boy, does time fly. Whether you're having fun or not. Time flies. I don't want to sell the potions as they are. The thing is, you keep picking up town scroll potions and town scrolls and identify scrolls. I feel like you would want to stop having them drop after I know those spells or have those spells equipped, because that's the whole idea here, was to get rid of that. I'm gonna hold on to this because this could go to a new player. So if I was to make a secondary character, very quickly I could give it town scrolls and identify, and then it wouldn't have to, well, do the thing I was just talking about, which is have 2 spaces of a very limited inventory dedicated to collecting scrolls at all times. Right, stand still. Wait. There's the heal. Only when the dog really wants to do it. The thing that could go wrong here is the dog could be so poorly programmed, and not just the dog, I've been calling them the dog, but whatever pet you picked at the beginning. Remember, it could have been a cat, or a lynx, or some other creature, I think. Or was it just the lynx or the cat? The lynx or the dog? But yeah, the pet could be so terribly programmed that if I give him 2 heal spells, he'll cast both spells immediately, which still wouldn't really be a big problem because at the current rank, at least, he's not healing me to a guaranteed full heal anyways. But yeah, if he casted both spells at the same time, then you had to wait 30 seconds. That's not an ideal usage. The ideal usage would be for him to cast one, then wait 15 seconds and cast the other. So every 15 seconds we'd get an annoying sound effect, but a beneficial healing. Floor 33, very much similar to the last 3 floors. I don't think we can go much further than floor 35 if we're still seeing this exact same Dark Palace theme past 35. That would be really annoying. I think we're probably suited to start thinking about getting rid of items and sending the dog to the store, which take those scrolls. There we go.
Your pet
off he goes. Well, on floor 33, it's still barely 50 seconds. So, yeah. Increasing your pet mastery is an unnecessary function, at least on modern computers. I feel like it took longer in the original game. I feel like it was taking a couple of minutes for the pet to come back. But even a couple of minutes is not such a significant delay time that it's worth worrying about. If he was gone for 5 minutes, it still really wouldn't be a big deal until it got into like a 7 to 10 minute range. Then I would start to be a little annoyed by it. But he doesn't, I don't send him to the shop that often anyways. Come on, hit this guy. Or, yep, I'm missing him because I'm not clicking on his body. Did we get everything? What's over here? I wish my character would move a little faster. I don't think in the long run that would speed my character up by much, but it would be nice in some of these scenarios where I'm trying to run away. I can't deny though, I'm actually playing Diablo now, whereas the first 25 floors really were just such easy cakewalks that nothing was happening at all. Like, no need to even have been involved. It's a little surprising that these summoned skeletons don't die when I kill the thing that summoned them. Here's another named one that does poison attacks. And yeah. We really did just turn the table on the poisoned attacks. I went from really struggling to survive to doing a perfectly fine job of surviving without while being attacked. This is a slightly different layout. Need to go around in this section. I'll work our way around before we move forward, otherwise I'm gonna forget that I didn't kill everything over here. I still feel like it's important to grind through all of this. And I did lose the armor. For the increased armor, I lost the 4% increased experience. Which maybe was a mistake. Because if it would be interesting to have a number as far as just how much experience, I think we could probably look at the character sheet. Like the number as far as the experience you have just to get from this current level up to the next level is extremely high, unless that number just constantly goes up and then the requirement constantly goes up. But even at that, then the number is still incredibly high. I would very gladly accept 1% of every dollar I ever spent in my lifetime back paid to me than like $10,000, because I can guarantee you 1% would be a much bigger number. $100,000 would be different thing.
My pack is full.
That's
My
not even
inventory is
talking
full.
like a compound interest savings account, which is where you would get something like a percentage back on how much money you have. So, time to play Inventory Hero again. And sure would have been nice to do this just half as often. Alright. So, the Magnus Obtruse Shoulders, 12% cast speed versus what I have right now. Yeah, this is a set item, so I have got to keep it, but it's not something that I'd wear. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. A lot of this item drop stuff only makes sense if you were trying to get items for a second playthrough. A second character. Remember, there's no co-op here. It's not like you could get a friend to jump in at level 1 and say, here's some level 1 boots we found that are really good, but way too weak for my current level at level 43 or whatever I'm at, 35 I think maybe is my level. So this floor, I've done 2 quests, so I should go back to the city relatively quickly once my inventory is full, which will take a little while, but yeah, once the inventory is full, or maybe if we get to the next floor. Actually, even if we got to the next floor, I think we just want to move forward to the next floor. It might be beneficial to not go to the next floor, because if there's a quest that says kill this named character on a certain floor and we go to the next floor, it might move the next quest we get down to the next floor, making it a potential loss overall of the number of Fame quest missions we could do. Yeah, we're mostly getting back to just one-click kills. The way I like it. This is exactly how I want it to play. The game's getting longer regardless. Just on the face of all the other slightly larger maps and definitely more enemies and definitely stronger enemies. These guys are still taking like 600 damage and so the flying enemies, it'd be nice if I could do some more damage. 3-4 hits to kill a dragon. I don't think we'll see a major improvement on the dragons though. I think they'll just always be a little too tough to... If I was killing the dragons in one hit, one click, then I'd probably be killing everything in one click. But yeah, if I could just get... It's not even really a doubling that's needed, but close to a doubling. Maybe a 1/4% more damage per click. Or maybe half as much damage as I'm doing now, more. I am very far away from what I was having to do before, like summoning the zombies and using the charms. So good thing I didn't put any skill points into charm spells. That still may be something that we have to do later on, but right now it seems like we're safe from needing that to happen. Right. Keep that going up. More ranged weapon damage. Ideally, I'm trying to get even my base weapon damage so high that it can't fall below 500 damage on a click. Yeah, I was still seeing like 360 damage on occasion, whereas I'd like to see it at 400 or 500 every click minimum. And we really don't see a lot of characters that are blocking. So that's not much of a concern. And we are doing probably a significant amount of critical hits, or I'm getting hit with critical hits quite a lot. I'm not sure. I'm seeing the critical pop up. There's a lot of text, certainly, though. A lot of text that just goes on and on and on here. I think my inventory is close to being full, but I guess we'll maybe have enough room to go through one more small section. Let's see. Defense bonus. No, 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 and no. Put that. Nope to that. And okay. Yeah, this last little section, and then we'll go back to the town and turn in quest. Kind of need to point in one area and click and we'll get it. All this gold. Clean up all the gold on the floor. Why there would be gold on the floor is questionable. Yeah. Either you make a game like this where for some reason the minions, the bad guys, have a desire to have gold, or they don't and they have no interest in it. If that's the case, then why would gold be in chests and around in places, but also on the floor? Yeah. Either they know what gold is or they don't. Right. Think we're good enough to cast a spell and return to town. Let's look at our inventory and look at these last couple of things just to make sure there's Nothing of importance here. $15,000.
Bye-bye.
Let's come over here and see if he's got any bright purple. Now, this is a bright purple logo, so that's what we're looking for, is a bright purple title. I guess the other thing to look for would be a bow that could do more damage, or something like that. Or a rifle that could do more damage. I suspect that there's probably only one weapon that is part of any kind of series, and everything else is mostly armor. In the same way, it seems like that there's only one necklace that's part of any kind of series.
I got things to do.
So we found a couple of pieces. Right. This is a level 16 part of the Magnus Trove. This is the trance. This is Blackfish Vambrance versus another Blackfish Vambrance. We bought the same thing. Both require level 17. One gives ice resistance, increased ice damage, and faster cast spell. This one gives you health, dexterity bonus, and poison resistance, so that's better. This is a Blackfish Insignia, or Black Fist Insignia, which, okay, so there's 2 pieces, 3 pieces, and then this does not connect to that set. Meanwhile, what else did we just put something down? Magnus Trove. Is there something for the Magnus Trove? We have Rydo's application, Coit Regalia. This is a strength bonus necklace. It's not worth anything. I can get rid of that. We also have the spell here. So town portal and identify spells. We have 2 Medusas changed, which we should get rid of that one. Put that there and that there. Okay. This armor is level 18. Does it have increased experience? No, it doesn't, so let's get rid of that. That was probably an armor I was just trying to try to have something happen with. Magnus Trove. Burgers. Berserker gear. I'm still wearing the Berserker cord, by the way. Yeah. I think right now. Why am I still wearing the Berserker cord? Doesn't increase experience. That's crazy. Why have I been wearing the Berserker cord? I've clearly just not been paying enough attention. And that's level 13. So, frankly, it should be over here. Some of these unique things. Still don't really make sense. Magnus Trove. Okay. So, I swear I saw something that said Magnus Trove. Yes, this and this is Magnus Trove. So that's level 16, that's level 12, that's level 8. This is level 11. And it's part of the Trance printed ship. There's just no room here. There really is just no room. This is level 8, this is level 2. It's kind of all it gets. It's kind of all it can be. I'm spending too much time on that. I'm slowing down. Do more damage. And give me more armor. 226 fire resistance, 45 ice resistance. And I assume he gave me a quest. Otherwise, oops, I guess maybe that could have been the last quest from him. We might be wrapping up here.
Anything you need.
At last the collection is complete. The ghastly piece, the blight, has consumed it completely. I cannot wait to examine it. You know, for research purposes, one can never have enough samples. This is also quite valuable if you find the right collectible. I'll be able to do research for years, and of course you'll have your share of the profit. Most importantly, it'll be a chance to examine each sample and learn each secrets of the deep. So this guy should come back in the sequel. No, he doesn't have a quest for me either. Wow, so we're down to one quest.
I've got the finest cut gems in Ember.
So yeah, that to me seems like the game is putting us down this pathway of this is a necklace. Not as good as what I have. We could look and see what the dog has though, I guess. Oh, Black Fist Vampirants. Did I have 2 of these? I'm just gonna assume I did. And sell it. Well, I'm gonna buy this. And this. It really does feel like the game has to be close to an ending. Summon Flaming Sword 6 might be the best we can do for the dog, but I was gonna try and get heal. Well, Charm is an interesting move. Let's give Charm 7 to the dog. Meanwhile, these rings I don't think would do anything. If you were a level 1 player and you got 251 health, that'd be great, but it's a level 30 requirement. So that doesn't work.
Hiya.
Okay. So a cracked cold Ember would bring about another cracked cold Ember, which would probably get discolored and probably get a dull, moving that up. A cracked core Ember would probably do nothing for us, so we'll just put that there. A dull skull can be merged with another dull skull. A cracked life Ember can't do anything. A discolored deep Ember can't do anything. Cracked red Ember can't do anything. I should enchant this and see if there's perhaps something I would want to do. Put some ice resistance in it. I guess that might make sense. And a cracked eyeball can't do anything. So it's not even in a bad position. This is increases gold bind, so it increased defense and magic attributes. Right. So unlearn Dervish and then drag charm to him.
I got the finest cut gems.
Do I want to sell this? Or do I want
Bye.
the dog to wear it? Let's see. Probably could give the necklace that I'm giving to the dog also more useful things.
Bye bye.
Hail!
Right. Go ahead and just transmute
Smiles on you.
and transmute
Is kind to you.
and transmute
Is kind to you.
and transmute
Is kind to you.
and transmute
Fortune smiles on you.
and two more.
Fortune smiles on you. Fortune smiles on you.
Take care now.
It'll be a weird final battle, certainly, because we're gonna have to come back and deal with this stuff if we want to see it actually happen. If we actually need these health potions, if we actually need the items that we have collected, that's gonna put us in a weird position. Also, I don't see how we get down so many levels. You know, it still kind of feels like we're at a halfway point, more than a final point. Right. Major dexterity, enchant.
Fortune smiles on you.
Level 2 magic weapon expertise skills.
What can I do for you?
Fortune is kind to you.
Plus 160 health.
Anything you need?
Fortune
Plus
smiles on you.
5 magic
Farewell.
attribute bonuses.
Hello there.
Fortune is kind to you.
Plus 5
So,
strength.
off with you. What can I do for you?
I can't afford any more. Right. Increased 2% experience. It's getting better. Definitely is getting better. But still really can't do anything more.
Hail!
We're in this weird quagmire where feels like the game might be close to
Smiles on you.
wrapping up, but then there's tons of more things that can be transmuted more things that could be
Smiles on you.
improved upon.
Fortune smiles on you. Fortune smiles on you.
Okay. 10 ice resistance. Take it. It's the best we're gonna do.
Bye bye.
So yeah, this only makes sense if we're about to defeat one of the bosses and then we have to go down several more floors to defeat another boss. Because then it really wouldn't make sense. We're on 33, so like if we defeat a boss on 33 and then went 17 more floors to get to the final boss, that would be weird. So this will be interesting to see how the dog's charm ability works. If it works. I wouldn't be surprised if I just kill enemies so fast that charm stops making any sense. Oh no, he's charmed. We just got a dragon. So that dragon stays charmed on our side for a while, and then we have to kill it. Okay. Well, that inevitably makes the game longer. Doesn't speed it up. But I guess whatever, we'll just ignore, at least in situations like this, we can ignore the charmed people until they stop being charmed. This is an example of a tweak that really should be there and is missing once again. There's little examples of this where an enemy simply, when there's no more enemies around, should lose its charm and attack me, or it should die just automatically after it loses its charm. Often when you have something like this, they have some draining health mechanic so that they're just slowly losing their life always, and then they die. That's how it worked in Control, the game I last played. Yeah. And frankly, it didn't even work that well in Control anyways. It took too long to go through the process of charming, although they were calling it seizing a character. Come on. Walk up the stairs. It's not that hard. This looks like a slightly differently designed section. You get that little gem drop. That certainly was the best sound you could hear in Diablo, is when you heard a gem drop or a ring drop. It really was a ring more often than anything else. It's odd that goes somewhere. The layout of this area is convoluted. I haven't had to look at my health, since getting back from town at all. So perhaps I had a major increase in my armor. Seems like I might even have some kind of reflected damage I'm doing, because like these guys aren't doing nothing to me. Nothing at all. This guy's trying to flame me. He did 0 damage. So the irony of this will be when we get down to the Diablo equivalent bad guy, if he's really difficult still on easy, that means he'll be way overpowered. He probably will be. A different ding sound just played. So there's clearly something that drops that makes one kind of ding sound, and then something else that drops that makes a completely different type of ding sound. I'm at half health now. Charming's not working enough to justify its existence, frankly. See, there's a charmed enemy there, and the game totally forgot it was charmed as soon as I walked off the screen. And didn't do anything with it. Wanna do the heal all, dog? The dog has had plenty of opportunity to do heal and hasn't done it. We'll stand here for a second and see. See if it decides it wants to do that. No. It just doesn't want to do it. But then it will do it. It's hard to argue that the AI of your pet is not programmed right. It clearly isn't. It's clearly not smart enough to go, oh, hey, let's look at what our health, our main character's health is, and cast a defensive spell if this is the right time. I mean, even if the dog was just constantly casting heal every 30 seconds, like if you could follow its timing that with 100% accuracy, that would be better than what it's doing, because it really isn't focusing at all. It seems to be
I can't carry anymore.
practically running a randomization dice roll on it. Yeah, with the way things look, it doesn't seem like we're making it to rank 100. It barely seems like we're gonna make it to floor 50. Something needs to happen in the story to justify the extra elements that we're gonna have to go through. It could be maybe that you can't get increased experience items after a certain level. That might be the case. That would suck, certainly, but would at least make sense why we've not really seen anything. There's 7 gold on under the floor. Right. This is a big area. A big area that was designed rather differently than previous areas we've been in. That guy's stuck in the corner. So I mostly killed him. You could see how there could have easily been like a collectible item on that platform right here, and we could be doing some kind of side quest to collect something as that 7 gold, that ever important 7 gold. Just going in circles. a lot of 3D models and art that, frankly, I would have been happy if all the 3D statues were gone, and in their place if there was just a similar number of more enemies. But then I guess that would require somebody to program the enemies AI and have them have an attack and a movement and things like that. Okay. So this looks like this is the way the area goes forward. And so then it looks like this section over here that's the fast travel is probably to a just small section. Yeah. Small section where you could get overrun by people if you weren't careful. Otherwise, you just get more loot. Too much loot. Did I pick up everything in that area? No, there's an identify scroll. That's not worth coming back to this point. I can't name the game, but I definitely know there is a game out there that has either built in or through a mod the ability to say don't pick up, drop, or just disintegrate items of a certain level. If I could at the very least say just disintegrate identify scrolls and town scrolls, that would be helpful. Or disintegrate all the average loot, because the chance that I would ever use an average piece of loot is 0. You don't get enough money, even though I've done an incredibly large amount of things as far as skill improvements and such, to increase the amount of gold I get from fights and drops and such. I still don't have enough gold where it makes sense that I would take a base item and then try and enchant it 5 times or more to get it to be something that would be the equivalent of a unique item. It would be way cheaper just to gamble, and your gambling odds aren't that bad. You have, it looks like a 1 out of 5 chance of getting something really good, which really does say that I, instead of enchanting at all, I should just gamble first and then try and enchant something that I gambled for. So here's another named guy he's doing nothing to me. Although he did give me a significant chunk of XP, I haven't really been paying attention to the XP levels at the bottom of the health bar. So, just a large number of people next to the exit.
I can't carry anymore.
Right. Let's see. There are enemies around, so it's a little dangerous to be doing this, but whatever. Right. My magic was up, I could use that, but since it isn't, we'll just do that. And then off you go to sell items.
Your pet has departed.
Guess we are back to 2 clicks to, or still at 2 clicks to kill the flying creatures. Right. is there anything in any of these items that would change my mind? Make me want to not sell it.
Your pet has returned.
Okay. Have a small area over here to clean out. And did we get everything else? Because it feels like there's an area down here. I can't hit it. Yeah, feels like there's an area down here we somehow missed. Or perhaps it's an area down there you just cannot access. Nah, I just didn't go down here. And he's charmed. Kinda hate charmed. I should be able to just attack it even if he is charmed. And just be like, oops, I killed my own guy. So let's go down to the next level and see if there's anything new or different there. Or if this is still going to be the same layout. We haven't even gotten any backstory. Like, so Black Palace level 34. Inventory wise, we've got a bunch of stuff, bunch of garbage. Yep, none of this makes sense. Yeah, unless this is a big boss fight, which maybe it is because this is an empty area. Do I want to go another 10 minutes? Like, we kind of are doing that every time now, as we're going a little bit longer, a little bit over an hour straight. Yeah. There needs to be some kind of revelation that happens right on this floor. I defeat a boss, they find out some piece of information, they start giving me new quests because of that. We're back into the grind. It seems like poison still can do some major damage to me if there's enough people around. So I might have to use like one potion. But yeah, mostly everything's coming up daisies. Nope, that's pushing up daisies, so that's a different thing. Everything is working really well here. Our heal all mostly handles everything. On a rare occasion we have to use a health potion. We're getting decent amounts of money that I'm very possibly wasting. At some point, I guess if you were at level 100, you would just want to gamble for whatever items you would get gambling at level 100, which one assumes would be higher items, the highest possible items. There's a big spider over there that seems like he might do some more damage than most. Yeah, it kind of feels like we're going through a gauntlet. You wanna heal me? 1, 2, 3, forget it. Yeah, it's like program to heal after I heal, which would only make sense if I was using ineffective potions myself. And now he's at a 30-second cooldown, and when I could use his healing again, it's gone. I can definitely see a strategy between these Medusa characters and the Dark Acolytes, that they're designed to work in tandem to make you struggle. Oh, he's actually hurting me. He's got some kind of poison damage on him. Yeah, I don't know if I'm fighting a gauntlet to a boss fight, or if this is just a area that happens to look like that. Meanwhile, throw more into damage. That's all we can really do, and all we really should do. Summon Skeleton 5 versus Summon Skeleton 6. That spell's not worth anything. Come on, close that. Just a whole wall of dragons. There you go, have some zombies to fight all the dragons. Ooh. They're burning me. Just keep an eye on our health. These names are ridiculous, but they're never said out loud, so randomly generated names, which I assume they are, work fine. Let's see. I feel like I need to wander around a little bit just to make sure I have done at least a fair attempt at trying to pick up all the items. Come on, click, 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 click. Stop being charmed so I can kill you. Okay, there's a boss fight.
You have slowed our plans, visitor, but Ordrak's time is endless. All we require now is a willing sacrifice. Once you are dealt with, I will retrieve Syl and complete the Dark Ember. Kneel or perish.
So yeah, unless all of a sudden he's a major problem, I think this is a boss fight that, yeah. Let's see how much damage he does. He summons a big ghost dragon and such, but he's nothing. Yeah. We'll summon some zombies to take him on.
My health is low.
Need a health potion. Charm is causing the dragons to get charmed and fight him. Meanwhile, there's kind of nothing over here. Yeah, I don't think that there really would be a secret or anything. There's a barrier. So they could have done this. Like I suggested, why not have a game where there's a barrier that stops you from going any further, and you just have to clear out areas, and then there'd just be less areas and less grinding. And they totally could have done that. Obviously, it was programmed into the game. They just chose not to. I think the main thing is just don't get too close to this guy and let him do too much damage to me. And I'm fine. He's just constantly summoning dragons while also having magical dragons play a role. And as a boss fight, sure, he's made me use 2 health potions, but that's hardly 20.
No, I will not be defeated here.
So we're gonna go fight him again.
A new quest.
Yay. So yeah, he's all the corpses disappeared while that was going on. There's nothing here though. Like, it's just somebody designed this to look like a dark library where he was doing evil research and put books around, but yeah, he's the last guy. And then I tried to fight him and then he charmed again. That's ridiculous. Charm fails miserably as a spell. Really does not work. Alright. So let's go to the next floor and then go back to the town. Or maybe get some backstory right now. No. No backstory. We're just in lair. Which... apparently I can't cast that here. Why can't I cast that here? That's crazy.
I can't cast that here.
So is the entirety of the game going forward just a locked-in sequence? What if I need to sell items? Do I just have to send the dog? It seems like that might be the case. So let's fill up his inventory and see what this does. It's not terrible.
Your pet has departed.
So the pet can still sell things. I'm almost to the point where I've used the last of the super health potions and we are just at a level where we are going to use the max health potions. Well, this does not make a lot of sense, certainly. We're at rank 43 with a small increase in experience. I could have seen ourselves being at rank 46. By the time we're at the game, maybe we'll make it to rank 50, but definitely not rank 100. It does seem like maybe we'll get to floor 50, but only through a lot of shenanigans. It's still 15 more floors, So unless there is a major boss rush that happens where each floor is a boss and then maybe there's a couple of floors that aren't a boss like we've been doing, but then it's really more accelerated storyline wise, and smaller floors in general, it doesn't seem like there's even 50 floors in this game. Skill wise, we're still trying to get two more things to increase our damage, which reducing ranged equipment requirements by 10 points actually is doing nothing. So you probably should have put points into this as soon as possible, and I could have done that. Certainly it might have made more sense to go with defensive spells. Increasing armor up to the rank 10 though was quite useful. When we have major increase in armor and major increase in decrease in requirements, but we're not really finding enough armor for that. Critical strike still something that we should have done, but clearly adventure was more important than that. And then defense, like block and parry increase, is still useful too. Quest wise, we only have this one quest, which is weird. And pet wise, our pet has like 3,101 health, which is actually 3 times as much as, wow, I don't know why our pet has so much more health than we do. Plus 93 health because of the necklace. I get that, but that's not a percentage health. So yeah, if I take that off, the pet just does have way more health than I do. I guess maybe that's because he has no armor. He's still not doing any elemental or range damage. I don't know how you'd even be able to do that. I hate the spell that he has. I think Charm's not really working. Journal wise, we are approaching the 20-hour mark, which it does take me a while to get through games, a little bit longer than most, so this does seem about right. And it does feel like more things will unlock after we do the main story, but I don't think I'd really want to do too much of that. So obviously that graveyard in town unlocks something. If that's like a random generator, we would do, I'll do like one. If it's opening a whole second like cavern system, I don't know if I really want to do that. Meanwhile, we have all kinds of metrics here that we could look at. 61 quests completed, 11 deaths, nearly 10,000 monsters defeated, 200 chests open, lots and lots of things, except for fishing, of course, the whole fishing minigame. There is definitely some complaints that could be made about how this game thought fishing was such a cool idea when fishing is never that cool of an idea, and it thought having a pet was such a cool idea, and that certainly would have sold 10 years ago, but they did not enough with it to make him a useful co-op partner. I would much prefer the Diablo 2 system where you just hire somebody that fights alongside you, you give them equipment, and everything works out normally. They have as much inventory as you do, they have the same equipment slots, and they fight alongside you with a lot better AI than what I think the pet can do. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.